we got the Noguard, the Bestech Noguard, which is an interesting one, to say the least. Both of these are actually really interesting. Then we got this little guy, which is the Tulip. One of the cutest and smallest little knives I've ever handled. It is definitely annoying to try to manipulate, that is for sure. And I got pretty small hands. There's no flicking it open. I mean, yeah, I guess you can, but that's very annoying. It's got a pocket clip on it. Talk about a fifth pocket. This is definitely perfect for fifth pocket. Pretty tight, but I mean, it'll do the job. You know, it's G10. You know, with a red G10 backspacer. It's nothing special. I guess you can always flick it open like that. It's got a nice little jimping, couple jimps right there for you know, for you to grip. I don't really know what you're really cutting like this. This knife is 100% designed specifically for the draw cut, like this cut. I think that's just what it's called, draw cut. You know, the box cutting cut, I guess. The box cuttery cut. You know, which is, it's actually like a package opener. This thing is probably one of the best things. Like, if you want to just have a small knife for box cutting, you know, and that is it. I mean, it could be a little bit better if it was easier to open, but I mean, just to open it like that, it's not that hard. Just to slow roll it, it's actually actually kind of satisfying, because that click is you know, that lockup is pretty hefty on it. So it's not a bad little knife. I'll have to say. I am not one to be able to do this, so well, no, not gonna happen. So it's cute. It's definitely it's a usable knife. It definitely is. I mean, you're not really slicing, like, you know, actually doing slicing cuts, but for, you know, cutting downward, I don't think that's a draw cut. I don't know what it is, but, you know, when you're cutting packages or you're cutting labels out, stuff like that, the tip is really cute and, you know, pretty, I wouldn't say dainty, but it is kind of, but it doesn't seem like it would break pretty easy. It's actually sharp. The grind lines are actually pretty good looking, I'd have to say. I gotta give it to Bestech on that one. So Ostep Heel is the designer, and oh wow, I didn't even know that. This thing is 14C28N. Wow, I did not even see that. This is the first time I'm seeing that. That's, wow, I'm surprised. Don't know why, but I'm just kind of surprised. So yeah, we'll put that, that's the Tulip. We'll put that up in the corner over here. So this is the Bestech Noguard as I drop it. It's definitely a strange looker. It's definitely a strange, why do I keep dropping it? It's just a strange knife. I'm not saying it's not a bad knife. Not by no means is it a bad knife. The action, I mean, it's got decent action. But it's just the way it's just the way it looks. It's just it's definitely an out there design. I'm not too sure of the designer. I probably should have looked that up, but you know me, I'm not the one to really do things like that. Don't know why. I'm forgetful. But the action on it is pretty solid. I definitely have to say, it's got a satisfying controlled drop. It's actually really satisfying. Listen to this controlled. It's just glides down. And it's got you could feel, it's not a grit, but you can feel the detemp ball sliding on it. And it just, I don't know what it is. It just feels good. Strangely enough, but it's just satisfying. And then once it hits the detemp ball, hits the pocket, and it just goes right into the D10 hole. It's just satisfying. I don't know why, but it's just really, really, really satisfying. But I mean, the ergos aren't bad. I don't really like knives that have that say you need to put your hands here. That's where you're putting them, and you're putting them nowhere else. It does have a kind of a choke up here. Yeah, I guess you could. You got to be worried about that, but it's not really that pokey. It's kind of I guess. I mean, it is, but it isn't. So, you have enough room in there. I have pretty chubby fingers, so you should be able to get in there. And that's pretty comfortable, honestly. You can get some good work done with that. It's got a tall, flat grind. The grind is a little weird, too, because it kind of, goes up and down. So, it's kind of strange in that sense. But it's not a bad blade. It's definitely not. I guess this is another problem. Is it a Wharncliffe? Is it a sheep's foot? Is it a leaf foot? Maybe? Because it's kind of almost a leafy kind of shape, but a sheepy foot as well. So it's like a leafy foot, maybe? A leaf foot? A leaf foot? Or a loof? A loof? Alright. It's got I love this, though. That's sick. Bestech's, pivot, I gotta say, they killed it on that. That looks amazing. That looks killer. With the micarta and the silver, they definitely killed it. Another thing with the handle, the design's not. I mean, I like the black with the micarta. I do like that, but it's just this lock bar kind of design. It's just the inlay is so strange. This looks like a subframe lock. I don't know. Tell me how many people in the watching this, if you think the same thing, hit the like button or just comment. I'd rather you comment and hit the like button, but whatever, because that thing looks like a freaking subframe lock to me, but it's not. It's one solid, piece of titanium, and it just has the inlay going over it, which is something I've never seen before, which in sense isn't really a bad idea because it kind of hides that. So it kind of hides the relief cutout, but at the same time, I just noticed that there is another relief cutout on the inside. So I don't know. It's a ever so slight cut in the middle, in the inside, very, very fine. So I don't know why, but this side doesn't have it. So I'm guessing it's for the lock bar. But it's just a weird, it's not weird, it's different. It's definitely a different style. The designer, I gotta give him points for, creativity on this one. Because even though it's an oddly designed knife, a different design, it works. And that's the cool part, that as this design is strange, it works. I mean, it's not that strange to the point where it's like, unusable. It's obviously a knife. You can obviously tell it's a knife, but it's just, it's just different. I'm not a big fan of the pocket clip. That's definitely one thing I'm not a fan of, because the pocket clip, if you look at it from here, it's like, oh, it's only that much. Well, no, it actually comes all the way to here, and that's where it starts, because it ends up sitting in your pocket, kind of like that. So, like, that's okay, but I don't like how it, like, goes sideways, because if you look here, you can see it starts here, and then you see that it's not like flush across, it kind of goes diagonally, so it's kind of a pain in the ass. But I mean, it's got good retention and everything, but it's just that design factor of it. Like, that's a long kind of angle to be doing that with, but everything else is good. I mean, the action is pretty solid. I mean, it is solid. There's no blade play. Pivot's never walked. I haven't really cut too much with it. I flipped it a decent amount of times. Obviously I haven't done really too much with it, because it's obviously a pass around knife. Shout out to Black Widow pass around group. Love you guys. Love you, Justin. But it's just a unique design. So I gotta give it points for innovation, and the looking aspect. I mean, it's not anything innovative on, anything different as like it's doing something spectacular with like a new style of knife, but it's just, the blade shape's different. The handle shape is kind of a little, I think it's just the overall package is different, I do wish this was a little, like, different other than an oval, because if this was maybe down a little further, it would be a lot easier. Or if it was cut out, like maybe like a square or like a trapezoid or something, anything different other than this circle, because you really can't get, like, I don't know. See, like, it's kind of difficult, because not many knives just have literally a straight oval like that, like a small oval. So, as I'm missing the flipper tab, it's a good knife. I mean, I can't really knock it at all. It's a solid knife, so there's nothing I can really bash about it. So, the access to the lock bar is good. Sorry as my chair squeaks. Access to the different deployment methods isn't too bad. Like I said, like, that's kind of bad, but you can flick it. So, and I'm pretty sure you can, the thumb opening, that's actually really satisfying. I think that's way better. Sorry, I think I was just off camera maybe a little bit. Yeah, the thumb flick is where it's at, honestly. Which is kind of strange, because most of the time on, like, thumb hole opening knives, using the thumb is really not a good way to do it when there's holes involved. That's what she said. So, I don't know. It's got good acoustics, too. It's nothing, like, crazy, but it's got decent acoustics. I'd give it, like, a 5.5, 6, You can't really reverse flick it that easy, so it loses points for me on that one. You can't even just be on the clip, you gotta kind of be all the way down there, so it's kind of sucks with that aspect. It is M390. It's definitely in the higher price range. I think it's like $280. Don't quote me on that. I'll definitely leave it in the description, a link to it. But I think it's around that 280 mark, 250, 280. If not, I know there's some that are definitely higher than that, like 3 something, like the mid 3s. Which I know when this first came out, it was in the 3s, so it could still be up that high, especially with the price of everything now going up. It could be like 3 something, so, but I'll put it in the description. Now, for that amount of money, I don't know, even for 280, I don't think so. I mean, it's a solid build, but I just don't think it's that. Maybe 225, 200. I don't know. I guess I can see maybe 250, 260. But yeah. So there's really not much else. This is the the Bestech group right here. We got a Bestech Noguard and the Bestech Tulip. We got the biggie knife and the little knife, the big and little. So again, these were passed around. Thank you for passing them off to me and letting me actually take a look at them. Thank you everybody in the Black Widow group. So yeah, this is going to be passed on to the next person, and everybody that's watching this, thank you, love you guys. Keep coming back, and yeah, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. The more the better. So peace out.